And we're back, and we are here with one of the episodes I'm most excited about, the golden love triangle of Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, and Angelina Jolie. Margaret, let's go back to 1994. This was the year that Brad Pitt and Jen Aniston met for the very first time. Brad Pitt was up and coming. Interview with the Vampire just came out. Jen Aniston was hot on Friends.
Friends premiered this year, so she was becoming hot.
You know, I can't believe I even thought of getting back together with you. We are so over.
And those two were introduced by their managers. I think when they first met, she kind of wrote him off as this boy from Missouri. And then, she said she had a nice time, but love didn't really fly right off the bat.
Right. It started as a friendship. She told Rolling Stone he was just this sweet guy from Missouri, She called him a normal guy, and she had been kind of a child star. He was the guy next door. She was the girl next door, too, but a little bit more Hollywood than he was.
Right. So fast forward to 1998. That's when they're really linked for their first date. Brad was 35 at the time, Jen was 29, and they go on their first date. And Jen says it was weird. It was this really easy evening. She had just broke up from her relationship with Tate Donovan. From the OC. And Brad was fresh out of a relationship with none other than Goop founder herself, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Which was another sort of huge 90s relationship, if you think about their big red carpet moments from that time.
And they went Emmy official in September of 1999. You look back at the photos, they're kind of incredible. She has this really curly hair. He has these tiny glasses that are weirdly making a comeback today. But it's super nice. And, I think America falls in love with them. They go on in November of 1999. They appear on stage with none other than Sting. And there's this great moment where I think they start singing about getting married or something, and she flashes an engagement ring. And then the world went crazy knowing that these two were going to get married.
And the ring was said to be $500,000. So it also was this sort of flashy relationship. So while it was America's sweetheart, super cutesy, everything was above and beyond too.
Right. So $500,000 for an engagement ring.
Okay, first of all, that's worth even more today. And now,
Really?
Here at thedailymail.com, we'd have, how much is it worth? Who made it? Back then, it wasn't even that. It was just sort of people predicting it. But that's a crazy expensive ring.
See, I feel like for this caliber of star, it needs to be at least 9 figures, $1 million.
But back then, with inflation.
I think the bigger prize is 1999 Brad Pitt.
You're not wrong.
This is when he was at his hottest, in
what,
my opinion.
What movie do you think he was hottest in?
Okay, so this brings me to a really interesting story.
Okay, I know you've been saving this one.
I have. I think Brad Pitt in Fight Club is the defining moment of how I knew I was gay.
Love.
So for all the gays out there, I think you all can remember the pictures of him taking off his shirt. He was glistening with sweat, and it was just I felt something that I didn't know what was going on. So Brad Pitt holds a special place in my heart.
Wait, I love this.
And so that's why I feel screw the $500,000 engagement ring. Give me Brad Pitt in 1999 and
I thought you were going to tell me you were in a Fight Club when you said you had a special Fight Club story for me.
That's for after we wrap.
Okay, what year was Fight Club, vaguely?
1999.
So, okay, I thought he was hottest in Meet Joe Black.
Really?
Yeah, because that was the same where I, vividly remember going to the movies and seeing that movie, way too young and just being oh my God.
I know. I feel like everyone, even straight men, have had that moment where they're Brad Pitt is a good-looking man.
Insane looking.
So let's move on to the year 2000.
Yes.
They had been dating for about 2 years, and then this is where they finally got married.
Tied the knot, yes. We have caviar, a caviar wall specifically. We have celebrity guests, including Cameron Diaz, Edward Norton, Melissa Etheridge, and of course the cast of Friends. So celeb-studded wedding, of course, for this A-list couple. And after that, we basically see them become Hollywood's it couple even more. They take it to the max. And we
Right.
even see Brad guest star on an episode of Friends.
You know, I think the beauty of those two is it kind of felt somewhat innocent at the time. Like, we didn't really have the Instagram that we have today. I think the tabloids were very much kind of in their lives, but we didn't have these explosive headlines early on about them like fighting or, you know, I think the real first inkling that there was trouble in the relationship came in 2004, if I remember correctly, when Jen gave an interview, I think it was to The Guardian, saying that she was ready to start a family. So at this point in the relationship, she's having baby fever. She's like, I got my Brad. The sex is probably amazing. And
You're thinking about Fight Club again.
I am. I can't stop. Am I turning red? I hope not.
Oh my God. I'll fan you too.
But yeah, I mean, she wants to start a family with Brad, and Brad arguably doesn't, right?
Well, she says it's time to start. She's looking forward to slowing down. And then in 2004, we also have Brad meeting Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And that is when the madness happens.
I mean, this was a moment that I think is like pop culture gold. I don't think, like, if you were someone who could write the perfect love triangle story, you couldn't make this up. I mean, so let's give a little bit of who Angelina was at the time.
She was such a bad girl, and I feel like people really forget that now because she has so cleaned up her image. If we go back to like a year before, she had split from Billy Bob Thornton in 2003.
And Billy Bob Thornton, to just remind viewers, like, they had a crazy relationship.
It was wild.
Like, they would show up to red carpets basically being like, we just in the limo on the way here, and she was all over him, and like, it was so great. I don't know if it was around this time, but like, it was rumored that she would like make out with her brother.
No, it wasn't rumored. They made out on the red carpet at the Oscars, the literal Oscars.
But I remember being like a little boy watching that.
You were.
Being
It was
like,
in 2000.
She is so cool. I don't know
Because
what
of the incest?
because of the incest, like
What do
fucking
you
an older
mean?
man. Like, I was just like, wow, this woman is cool. I don't know when she was in Girl Interrupted, but I was like, she's making great career choices.
Yes.
Loved everything she was
Smooching
doing.
her brother, loved.
I mean, he was
The
hot.
wearing of the blood vial, loved.
Yes. I mean, you know, to each their own, but as a little boy in Michigan, watching this woman like own her sexuality and just like not really give a fuck, I'll say it, about like who she was, I think there was something freeing about that. I was, you know,
Okay.
obviously at the time struggling with my sexuality, being like, wow, Brad Pitt makes me hot. I'm like, am I into blood because I'm watching Angelina like wear this vial?
Not into blood.
But at the end of the day, I was like, you know, this woman's cool. And then fast forward to 2004, we are getting rumors. The tabloids start picking up these rumors that Brad Pitt and Angelina have a thing on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm still focused on the blood, but I'm trying to move on from that.
I mean, disclaimer, I'm not into blood.
Okay, because you were struggling with that at the time, apparently.
I'm not.
Okay, so
God,
we
this
have
is-
paparazzi flying in with helicopters, lining the highways, and they were even listening in on the set's walkie-talkies for information. And the production heard a single picture of them together could go for as much as $300,000.
Which is insane. Like, if you heard today that you could snap a picture of Bleep and Bleep from Daily Mail and you would get $300,000.
But again, like inflation, so even more money.
What would you do to snap that picture? Like, what
You
lengths
would
you
get
go
in that
to?
helicopter.
Would you drink blood?
No, you would though, happily.
Maybe. So we have all of these rumors swirling around
Yes.
that like Brad and
Rumors are running
Angelina
rampant.
are getting together on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But, you know, I think at the time they were still very much denying that they were a couple.
Until
Until in January of 2005, 5 years after getting married, Brad and Jen release a joint statement to announce their split.
And they make sure to confirm it is not the result of any of the speculation reported by the tabloid media, which is basically confirming all of these crazy tabloid rumors. And they say, we ask in advance for your kindness and sensitivity, which sensitivity will come in later, in the coming months. The rumors are still running rampant. And we have these Team Jolie and Team Aniston t-shirts that are becoming the must-buy for celebrities. And they're at the Los Angeles hotspot boutique Kitson. And we see Paris Hilton is Team Jolie, her sister's Team Aniston. And also, it almost becomes like, if you're the good girl, you love Jen. If you're the bad girl, you love Angelina. You're seeing people take sides in the media, in real life, at the grocery store, in the aisles when they buy their tabloids. It is inescapable at this point.
Yeah, and I remember the iconic photo of Paris wearing the Team Jolie shirt.
Yes.
And Nikki, the less popular and less fun sister, wearing Team Aniston. Which brings us to our big reveal.
Oh my God, is it time?
It's time. Let's do it.
Wait, yours is going to be so much more normal than mine because you have a zipper.
Make it seductive, like slowly unbutton.
I'm no Angelina.
I am Luke, and I am Team Jolie.
Okay, so why are you Team Jolie?
I think, you know, we've talked about it. I think there was something, you know, you had this very clean-cut relationship between Brad and Jen. I think they were like Hollywood's it couple. He was the golden boy. She was the golden girl. They kind of stood for everything I didn't love when I was that age. They were like the perfect couple. And I think when Angelina swooped in, she was this kind of dark, mysterious, brooding, very sexual woman that took him away from everything that America wanted in a relationship. And I think myself at the time could relate to that, being like, I love counterculture. I don't want to follow the norms. And I think as a gay boy growing up in Michigan, seeing that, I was like, maybe there's hope for me. So that's why I firmly stand Team Jolie.
Okay. Love
okay,
that,
so
love
now
that
tell me more
take.
about why you're Team Aniston.
You know what? I'm going Team Aniston, and I'm sticking with it. I felt like at the time it was sleazy. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a bad movie, and I felt so bad for what the media did to Jen. I felt like there was this sort of narrative at the time that was like, she doesn't want kids, and he wanted kids desperately, and he was able to have them with Angelina, and she gave him everything he ever wanted, and she, like, people were so nasty to Jen if you look back on it now in a way that they wouldn't be. And I think since then she's had sort of this like incredible glow up that we've talked about. She has her hair care brand Lola-V. I have some in now. Not Spawn. But
it could be Spawn, Lola-V.
That's true. Actually, I mean, she did give it to me. Not personally, but she's done such cool things with her career. She's done the morning show. She has been this sort of independent woman post Friends, and she's had lots of relationships, and she's done like amazing things for herself. So I will stay on her team.
Let's kind of get into the nitty gritty of what went on post divorce. I mean, they announced their separation with this statement, which I think we could spend a lot of time talking about. As someone that works in PR, I think this was the era where celeb statements really started to become something. Jen files for divorce in March of 2005. And then this is where we finally see Brad and Angelina become more or less official. It's April 19th of 2005. Us Weekly exclusively published a pic of Angelina and Brad vacationing together at a villa on Diani Beach in Kenya with Jolie's son Maddox, then 3.
And I think this is where the shift really happens, where it's the vilification of Jen, where it's like, look at Brad, he's living this beautiful life with his new family. She could never give him that.
Right.
Like, this is when we see it start to happen. And we get this also with Angelina giving an interview to Marie Claire where she says, to be intimate with a married man when my own father cheated on my mother is not something I could forgive. I could not look at myself in the morning if I did that. So we see her playing the martyr, basically.
And I think we talked a little bit about this before with each other, but like this is kind of when she really starts reshaping her image.
Right.
And she goes from this bad girl, like sex-obsessed blood drinker to this kind of charitable woman, mother in many ways.
She literally goes from being a bloodsucker to being Mother Teresa, and we watched it happen, and we watched the tabloids make it happen, and it still sort of happens today.
Yeah, and I think it's also an interesting time because the tabloids, I think this is like the end of the golden era of tabloids. I mean, Us Weekly broke this story with them on the cover. You know, they're still writing about it like 20 years later, saying that this is the photo. I mean, it's amazing what people were paying for photos like this. And we talked about it, like they were everywhere. You could not escape them.
Right. And if we want to talk photos, the biggest photo shoot ever happens in W Magazine, where they have a 60-page, is it really 60 pages?
Wild.
That's actually
yes, it's
bonkers.
60 pages.
It is called Domestic Bliss. It is Brad and Angelina, and they are literally playing house in Palm Springs. Domestic bliss, which is arguably something truly wild to do post-divorce.
Right. And this had to have happened for this to come out in July of 2005. That means they probably started planning for this earlier in the year. So they was like very much right after he split from Jen. He was like, let me get with Angelina, go to Palm Springs, play house, take photos with my hands down my pants and her looking over me with 3 random children that aren't theirs, but they're pretending. So that makes me think that like this had been going on for a while.
It was in the works.
But, you know, back to Brad, like, wouldn't you want to play house with him in Palm Springs?
I mean, not if this would be the reaction. You know, wouldn't you want to give it like 6 months at least? I mean, I guess they gave it 6 months, but not really.
Right.
Which brings us to Jen talking to Vanity Fair about this photo shoot. And she says, I can't say it was one of the highlights of my year. Who would deal with that and say, isn't that sweet? That looks like fun. And this also brings us to Jen's famous quote where she says, he is missing a sensitivity chip.
And I think this really kind of starts to set up the dynamic that we see for the next few years. It's very much like Brad and Angelina are taking all of these steps to build their family. They're doing all of these like charitable endeavors together. They're opening a vineyard in France. And then everyone is constantly coming down on Jen saying like, who are you dating? Who are you seeing?
Yes.
Why aren't you having children? Like, how do you feel about this? And she's always kind of having to defend herself and say, like, at the time, interestingly, she goes on to date Vince Vaughn, which I remember.
I forgot about that.
They were like a cute couple.
They were in the breakup together? Or?
Yeah. And I remember thinking, like, why is she with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
But now that I look back, I'm like, okay, Vince can kind of get it, right?
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
While Jen is dating Vince Vaughn, John Mayer, Brad and Angelina are really kind of solidifying their place as Hollywood's power couple. I think if we want to do like the quick hits of it, they confirm in April of 2006 that they were expecting their first child together. At the time, she already had adopted 2 children. This was the first child that they were having together. She gives birth to Shiloh in Africa in 2006. They take their first red carpet photos later that year in December. They change the children's last names. They adopt their 3rd child together. And then at the Cannes Film Festival, there's this great photo of them. And she's very, very pregnant. She's in a gorgeous green dress. And they announce that they're having twins. So their family really skyrockets from one child that they were pictured with when they became an official couple. They now have the Jolie-Pitt clan, 5 children. Fast forward to 2011, and she meets Justin Theroux.
I don't think it's that exciting.
I think it's exciting because
Okay.
have you seen him in the gray sweatpants during Leftovers?
I thought you were just going to say, have you seen him? And I was like, yeah, he's always walking his dog around the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Justin.
He's just sort of like always around. So yes, I have seen him.
But I think everyone was kind of like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And he was famous because he had a giant schlong in
I actually
gray
didn't
sweat.
know that. I'll be honest.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I just thought you were going to say,
I
have you
almost want to
seen
show
it?
you. I almost want to show you because it's like shocking.
No,
It's like,
okay. Oh, let me prepare for the live reaction. Let me see.
I mean, you have to zoom.
I don't want to zoom on this. I'm happy for her.
Like flop? Yes,
It is-
I mean, you would be happy. Yeah. This episode, we are taking crazy tangents.
We're getting off track. So Brad and Angelina for years would not wed,
Right.
and for like obnoxious,
And they gave like
holier than thou
every reason under the
reasons. Yes,
sun.
like,
They were like,
we
want marriage to be equal.
okay.
Which I stand for. And
Did
I
you?
believe
But did
in
you
marriage
believe that's why
equality.
they were waiting?
No.
Like, were you like, I'm so happy?
I mean, I think this
glad
kind
you're
of
waiting.
starts to get into what happens later on. I think there is a reason that they waited to get married, and I think it's because Brad Pitt is a challenging person to be married to.
I always also find it fascinating when couples are together for years and then get married and split like immediately after.
Right. And I think part of it may have been because of what was going on with Justin and Jen.
What do you mean? Like they got married because of?
April of 2012, 8 years after meeting on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad and Angelina get engaged. Shortly after that, just a few short months, Justin and Jen get engaged.
Right.
And then it almost becomes this race to the altar.
Okay.
Like, let's see who can get there first. And I think Brad may have seen Jen getting serious with this guy, and he may have been like, Angelina, like, we need to, you don't think so?
Do you really think so?
I feel like, how can you not? If the entire world is talking about your ex.
I mean, but Brad won, if you want to, you know what I mean? Like I think it had more to do with it being the 10-year anniversary of filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because that is ultimately when they got married.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
it all comes, so you do buy what they were saying about wanting marriage to be, you know, marriage equality.
No, I don't buy that at all. I buy it was the 10-year anniversary of them.
So what do you think
meeting.
the reason was for them not to get engaged and not to get married?
I think they were just sort of an offbeat couple.
Okay. Fair.
Yes. So eventually they get married at their French estate, which is now part of a massive $35 million legal battle as Brad is suing Angelina over it. But at the time, it was incredibly romantic.
Right. I mean, we had a great recap and photos on the Daily Mail. But I found some interesting tidbits about it. You know, it was only 22 guests in total, which seems so small.
Who, like his family?
I think it was his family.
Okay.
Interestingly, Angelina, did not invite her father, John Voight.
Okay.
And
That is interesting.
it is.
And
but
now his family, who he's still close with, like, the grandparents are not seeing his children. They're all
Right.
estranged
Yes.
now, allegedly.
But, you know, they sold their photos from the wedding to Hello Magazine for multiple millions of dollars that they gave to charity. But I think her kids walk her down the aisle. It's a small ceremony.
Yeah, family.
And they finally got married. Everyone was like,
Yep.
this is a happy ending. I thought they were going to be together forever.
I thought they would too. I was pretty shocked when they split.
You know, and funnily enough, not long after that, Justin and Jen get married.
Yep.
In a secret ceremony. Guests were told it's his birthday. And little did they know they show up and, you know, he has his big...
At the wedding, you're making it sound like a nude wedding. Okay, so that's in 2015. And then 2016, we have Angelina filing for divorce from Brad just
2
weeks
years.
after their second wedding
They
anniversary.
were only together
which
for
is
2 years.
Pretty crazy because they
Married,
had this
yeah.
long relationship, and then they file immediately, and their divorce is still ongoing, and it is
Still ongoing.
so incredibly messy.
And it's sad. It's messy. It's sad.
Kids are involved. There's so many
There was
crazy
an
allegations.
incident on a plane about like domestic violence or allegations of. There were talks about his drinking. And, you know, sadly, like we're still seeing this play out. I think earlier this year we had exclusive details around Shiloh Jolie-Pitt deciding to drop Pitt from her last name and just go by Jolie. I think we had photos of Knox in LA, and he was, you know, visibly, he appeared to be drunk, kind of like losing his way. And I think sources have told us that like none of the kids are really talking to Brad. They're fighting over this multiple $1 million vineyard, and it's just nasty.
This is one of the biggest sort of celebrity romances, and it's also one of the messiest divorces we've seen.
I mean, he has a very interesting story. I mean, to see him go from Jen to Angelina, and now I think he's kind of floundering. I think he's had to rely on the woman in his life to kind of define who he is, and now he's trying to find out who he is a little bit.
And we'll be here while he finds out.
Yes.
Brangelina is interesting because it was sort of the biggest America's sweetheart turned tabloid controversy. And if you came of age in the 90s, in the 2000s, then you saw these headlines and you were fascinated by them, and you still are today. And it doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon.
All right. So, Margaret, it's
ready.
game time. I have a
Sorry.
new super fun game. Stop cracking those
I
knuckles,
was trying
girl.
so hard not to.
Okay, so I will read you headlines. You, right off the bat, have to tell me if they are from a real tabloid or if they are ones that I created.
Okay, can't wait.
First one.
Let's go.
Caught! Exclamation point. Brad and the nanny.
Fake.
No, it's real.
Wait, really?
Star Magazine. Yes, caught Brad and the nanny.
Wait, was he really with the nanny?
You'll have to read Star.
Wait, no, tell. I feel like that was such a thing.
I think it was a
Like-
rumor. I don't
Okay.
think he was really sleeping with the nanny, but it was a cover of Star.
Okay.
Moving on. Brad Pitt shaken by late night bombshell. Everything changed overnight.
That's fake. That's a ChatGPT you made.
It's not ChatGPT, but it is fake.
Okay.
Okay, this one is Angelina Unleashed. Why she's done playing nice. Her brother comes to the rescue.
Your favorite, her brother. Fake.
It is fake.
Too
Wow,
vague.
you're good at this. Okay. How about this one? Angelina's birthday ends in tears. Brad tries to call a truce, but the day ends in another explosive fight about Jen.
Real, and I feel like it's one of ours.
Yes, it's real.
Okay.
It's in touch.
Okay.
How about this one? Yes, I'm pregnant.
It sounds like you're telling me this. Okay, that could be anything. I need more information.
Okay, I'll do it again. Yes, I'm pregnant.
Okay, real, she was pregnant many times?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit more context.
Yeah.
It's Jen, and it's yes, I'm pregnant, dash with Brad's baby.
Okay, and then fake. No,
It's real.
it's not, because she was never pregnant.
Well,
with
okay,
Brad's
said it was
baby.
real.
Okay, that
All
doesn't
right.
count. That's
Jen
that's
Aniston finally
trickery.
snaps. Friends say she's done holding back.
Real.
Fake.
Oh, good one.
Thank you. Okay, how about this one? Brad Pitt can't escape Jen. Why their story won't stay buried.
You made that up.
I did.
I know.
How did you know? It's
Oh.
the-
Now we're playing our favorite game, where we look at some red flags or green flags that happen during the relationship and figure out if we think they should end the relationship or if they were good to go.
All right. So the first one, your ex posts a photo shoot with his new significant other playing house.
This is an obvious red flag. What do you think?
See, I disagree. I think green flag.
Okay,
I'm
why?
like, ex, I hope, like, I would know it's done. If my ex goes on
okay,
to,
I
like,
like
play
this.
a
Yeah.
house with someone in W magazine with 60 photos, I'll be like, fuck that person. I'm done. We're moving on. Green flag.
Okay, I like your thinking because it would help you move on, but my thinking was more, oh, there's a sensitivity chip missing. I never should have dated this person to begin with.
Fair enough. Okay, next. Your ex dates someone who looks exactly like you.
Okay, my thinking for this was Inez resembling Angelina.
Right, but red flag or green flag?
I think green flag. It shows he has a type.
I know, and I think it's flattering if your ex is so into you, they have to date someone that looks like you.
But I think you have to be the better looking one.
I always am. Your significant other is still friends with or friendly with an ex.
I think yellow flag. I think they shouldn't still be in touch, but they shouldn't hate the person.
Right. I think it's a red flag.
Okay.
It's too messy.
Right.
Unless you're into that mess, but I'm not. Okay, dating a coworker.
Red flag.
Red flag. Again, messy.
Too messy.
But if your coworker was Brad Pitt, would you date him?
I mean, 1999 Brad Pitt, green flag.
Green flag all the way. Okay, your ex goes on vacation with his new significant other right after you break up.
red flag again, and post pictures, red flag, sensitivity chip missing.
Yeah, I would say red flag for this one. I think if you're going to go big, do the 60-page photo spread and not just a dumb vacation.
From your vacation.
All right, last. An ex attends your partner's milestone birthday.
Okay.
Red flag. Like, let's just keep it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
too friendly.
And that's the tea. Yes, I'm pregnant.